So my name is Diane Aldrich. I'm from, right now, for the past decade, I live in Houston, Texas. So I worked for AWS for about 3 years. Before this, I'm on the industrial side, sitting here on your side of the table, most of the folks here on the industrial side. 3 years ago, I was recruited by AWS AI organization. So right now, my responsibility with AWS is I sit in a worldwide specialist org. Our team is specialized in AI ML, and my job scope is I lead global business development and go-to-market strategy for industrial AI. It's a mouthful. Basically, what I do and our team do is we take the cutting edge, the latest, the greatest AI, machine learning, now Gen AI now in the recent years, and we added that, and then we see how we can apply to industrial space. So before this job, I'll explain a little bit about my background because that also tell a little bit about what AWS is trying to do and about their strategy in this arena. Because when I tell people I work for Amazon and people sort of have a surprise, I've been coming to these conferences for the past 3 years and then say, what's Amazon doing here? So first of all, I'm the Amazon Web Services high-tech business unit, and the reason I was recruited about 3-4 years ago, Amazon sort of systematically trying to do is recruit people from the verticals. So as they build out the top cloud technology going up, and they start thinking about going into the different verticals. We're talking about industrial, energy, sports and entertainment, and and the public sector. So as they go into different sector, they realize that we have a lot of brilliant data scientists and coders and programmers, but we don't have people with domain knowledge. So that's kind of where people like me come in. So before Amazon, this job, I was a global manufacturing executive for 20 years. So I work in that sector. I run factories. I was an engineer, grew up on the factory floor. And also I lead operations. I built factories. I also did product management, product marketing, and so on. Eventually I was a managing director for a business, for a group of manufacturing portfolio. So I worked for Emerson for 20 years. I did 9 different type of jobs. So with that, and that's what Amazon's trying to do, AWS trying to do, so they recruit a lot of people with domain knowledge so we can go into, we understand the true challenge and pain point, and we talk the language, and we have lived there. So that's kind of my background. I just want to talk to you a little bit about that. Okay. So my talk mainly basically on asset management, and also at the end of it, it's very new. It's past month or so, and we started some Gen AI effort. If you were at lunch, you saw Lisa, and Seek is a premium AWS partner. So you saw that chatbot and offerings and along with that. So I'm going to touch up on that and then tell you a little bit about what we're doing, and then we can go forward. So for the industrial, using AI ML attached to using that in the industrial space, I'm sure by this time we all know in this room that these are the main challenges. How to access all the data, how to manage the data if you see it. What about security? And as soon as you start a pilot or I'm gonna move this, something that works, how do I scale? If you find something finally work, how do I scale? So that's another challenge. And then the holy grail is if I do everything right, how do I use this, leverage that to do some real-time decision-making, right? You leverage the data. The key is to do a decision-making in real time. You can respond. So like the supply chain challenge we experienced in COVID and all those challenges. So these are the major industrial challenges. So this is kind of an illustration of what we see in the industrial space, right? We bucketed into a few areas that we think technology can truly make a difference. So we're talking about smart manufacturing, engineering design, supply chain, smart product and services, and also, of course, sustainability, right? This is a cross-industrial sector, and these are the challenges. You see that I have 3 circles there, in 2 under smart manufacturing. One is asset management. One is the using vision for quality inspection. And the other one is I circled was supply chain. So what's circled is what we have been seeing and experienced ourselves in our own Amazon operation, that where AI, ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning actually can start gain some traction and can start immediate test or small proof of concept to the way that's scalable with a reasonable cost and an in-year return on investment, and some as quick as within 60 to 90 days, you can gain investment. So that's why I'm going to focus on that. I only have half an hour or so I'm going to talk very fast. So the low-hanging fruit using AI ML in industrial space are asset, and then the other one right now I'm talking about is using vision. So I'll focus on asset because we're in a reliability conference. The reason that if you just Google, say, where AI for industrial space, just very simple Google, you will see the number one use case pop up over, regardless what research paper that you see. Predictive maintenance is the number one use case. Even after Gen AI, it still remained the number one use case. There's a reason for it. The reason for that is in the industrial space, right? That's the value proposition, the value of it. If you can truly achieve predictive maintenance, the value is well understood, because with the factories built in the 50s and 60s, and including some tier 1 factory when I was running, it was built in the past 2 decades. With all these variety of a range of these factories, all these hundreds of thousands of pieces of equipment. So if you want to, this is the low-hanging fruit area that can get more out of what you already get without any more investment, without more capital investment, without building any new factories. This will give you more capacity. It will give you more output, right? And then it can give you more revenue coming out. So that's why the predictive maintenance is a low-hanging fruit, what we call a hidden factory. So value is well understood, but nobody's doing it right because it's so complex. You have all these different type of machines. So if you do it right, you can see 18 to 25% maintenance cost reduction. You also can see availability increase 5 and 15%. If you put in a formula of OEE calculation, this is huge if you do it right. So there's a lot of also consideration listed here. I'm not going to focus on read that. So this is from a fairly recent ARC. This is not my number, right? So ARC did a survey, and then this is every single sector, how much every hour will cost people, right? So the CPG is 15,000. If you go to, like, I have quite a few pharmaceutical company, it's $500,000 per batch because there's a lot of waste. You also have to think about government reporting and all that if something's wrong, right? So there's a paper plant, automotive is a huge amount of cost. It's hidden because we just live with it for decades. So it's not a line, you see it on the balance sheet, but you know it's there. This one, I'll spend a little bit of time about what AWS's approach, how we group our solution to help our industrial customer. So at AWS, we have like 200 plus solutions, from database to storage to cloud and AI ML, you name it, 200 plus services. And then when you go to industrial customer, it's overwhelming, right? Personally, when I joined AWS, I found it overwhelming. But as complex as it is, if you look at on top, for asset performance management, it's 3 simple steps. You get data, right? You detect anomaly out of those data. You have some sort of output action, right? So if we saw at Hexagon when, the award, and then that's what Hexagon do, right? So if you find something wrong, you go to Hexagon, there's something, that kind of software, you say, what do? Do I replace the parts? Do I send someone? Do I buy a new machine? What do I do? So 3 simple steps. To do this, well, we think that to help our customer, but our customer if you think about from industry 3.0, everything is in binders and papers or spreadsheets, right? So that's industry 3.0. To where Amazon is, if you go to a warehouse, I highly encourage to go tour our warehouse, and everything's censored. That's how you and I can get a Q-tip within a day. That's because it's the data. So it's a post-digital age that Amazon Fulfillment Center built it, right? So it's a variety of range from paper and binders and binder traveler with the machines in the factory all the way to everything is digitized. People are in different place, organization-wise, skill set-wise, the whole company readiness and digital maturity. There's a wide variety. There's 7 stages actually between those, right? So based on where you are, we group our solutions to buy option, build option, and the customize option, just to help to meet where you are. So I will give you a quick example of the buy option that what we use. It's basically, it's a out of box, everything's ready, end to end. So if you hand this over to a technician on the factory floor today, the whole user experience mirrored that you deploy Alexa at home. And then you can just download the phone app, and then they can start monitoring their machine equipment, regardless how old the machine is, within 20 minutes. And then you can just start monitoring the behavior of those machines. That's doable. And it's $100 a sensor, and you can just go. So that's the buy option. We also have a build option. It's kind of in the middle. So let's say you have a factory that you already have a lot of data stored in the robot arms, in different type of fancy CNC machines or fairly recent machines that you bought within the past 5-8 years. You have data. You just don't know. They're just stored there. You're not doing anything with it. So we help you to build a pre-built machine learning model. You don't have the code. There's no code. You can just get the data, inject into that machine learning model, and out come the analytics, the insight. So that's exactly what Seek did. If you were at lunch and listen to Lisa, that's what their software do. They just take the data and they give you insight, and actionable insight, and tell you what's going on in your factory. So that's the build option. And then, of course, it's a customized option. Let's say your leadership get together, you're all ready. After you look at your data foundation and strategy, you say, we're ready, we'll go all the way. Let's do a multi-year journey, and then we do that. Our purpose is doing this is, regardless of where you are, find a good technology partner, because it's not an IT project. Please think and repeat over to your people. It's not an IT project, it's not an IT project, it's not an IT project. It's a lifestyle change of your whole operation. It's a multi-year journey to get there. So our goal is to be that partner. Regardless where you are, we can start as small as a one starter kit on the buy option, and then we can just go along the way. And then the key is, as you go along this journey, no effort and no time is wasted. So they should just fit together. No, nothing like you install something, you start a solution, you buy software, and 2 years later you don't know what to do with the data. It doesn't fit anywhere. You have to go back and costly redo and things like that. So I spent a little time on this. This is our approach at AWS. We want to work with a customer. So that's the buy option I talked about. This is something exactly what we use in our fulfillment center. It's called Amazon Monitron. This is our CEO, Andy Jassy's this is a viral post he did on LinkedIn, and during right after Christmas time. You see that this is a machine under the conveyor belt, and that's the sensor, right? So we developed this solution ourselves and then we decided it worked so well, save us millions, and then we productize it, and we send it to the world. And then so this is actually, if you order go on your Amazon Prime today, you can actually get a kit for $700 with 5 sensors and a gateway, and you can just start monitor 5 machines. So the service is extremely simple, because we wanted to design something very simple that people can just do self-serve by themselves, right? So the services come with it's a wireless sensor, battery powered. The technology itself is okay. It's good technology. What's unique about this is scalable. You will see a lot of these kind of technology on the exhibit floor. I'm sure you see them, right? But so the sensor itself is like I said, it's a wireless. It has 2 key health indicators. Sends 2 key health indicators of rotational equipment, vibration and temperature. And then battery power lasts 5 years. And then it come with a Wi-Fi or a gateway or a wired Ethernet gateway. So the information was sent via Bluetooth, via gateway to the cloud. And in the cloud, there's a top of the line, constantly being updated, super secure machine learning model, ready to take the data. And then once they start taking the data from your machine in that particular environment, it takes about 21 days to train the model. Plus, you will have the phone app, the smartphone app. So your technician can download it and they can further train it. They see it on the phone app and they got alert. They can say thumbs up, thumbs down, and based on their own knowledge, so they further feedback and fine tune the model. So then with this feedback loop, once it's trained, it's highly accurate and very highly accurate. So before if you imagine our factory, our warehouse floor, these are the type of machines that's very good at. If you imagine like this kind of floor, this is like 5 size of football field. This is kind of, just in Europe, we have 88 of them. And in US and Canada, we have a lot of them, right? In almost every major city or multiple ones in a major city. So in this kind of environment, we have hundreds of thousands of pieces of those type of equipment. Before, we have an army of people using handheld to do routine maintenance. With this particular piece of technology, we completely eliminate that. So right now, if you see a technician walking with a phone alert, they go there with a precision, purpose, and accuracy based on that alert. So something, they know what's going on, so they completely eliminate that. So I talked about scale because at AWS, one thing I learned in 3 years, they don't do anything if you cannot scale, regardless how good it is, right? So scale is very, very important. So in this particular data set at Pool, it's 9 months. In this 9 months, we covered 33 of this type of buildings, 25,000 sensors, 700 gateways. We covered 9,000 assets just in this 9 months. No additional resources, just people in the plant. They were able to do this by themselves, right? With a playbook, with YouTube videos and kind of how to do it. We were able to cut down the failure rate 70%. 70%, right? We detected about 4,800 failures within that period of time, 9-month period of time, saved us $20 million with this little $100 sensor. So I just want to give you this example. Here are some pictures of what's it look like. And you just use an industrial level glue and stick it to the under the conveyor belts. So it's great for rotational equipment. It's a example, right? This is a customer of mine. Baxter is a global health manufacturer. They build all the IV bags for the world. If you go to hospital, you see the IV bags. It's all from Baxter. This is their flagship factory in North Carolina. Typically, how customers start with this kind of a thing is they try something with a low risk, right? If it doesn't work, you can just walk away. Nobody gets hurt. It's a few $100s, right? Right? So this one, we started with 10 sensors, and then very quickly they said, this looks promising. We have 75 plants around the world. Let's do a proper pilot. So we scoped out about 234 assets, and we did a 90-day trial, right? So, and in these 90 days, we discovered 5 credible alarms. And then that 5 alarms result into 30 hours of downtime for them. And then this is not my number, this is their number. It saved them over $400,000. So based on this little trial, we present to their leadership. They said, wow, this looks good, and let's go forward. So right now we're on year 3 of it. We deployed 20,000 sensors around the world. We're on track to save them over $6 million. I use this example as you don't have to be, it's a complex journey, but it could be something just as simple as you just start with one starter kit, start with 5-10 machines, and then you can work with your team, change the culture and educate, and do that step by step. You could do that. So instead of thinking it's something complicated, it doesn't have to be. So I want to touch on the generative AI, what's happening, because it's all the buzz. And then including myself, I got pulled in for it. So we think it actually have great potential for industrial space. So about a month before I was pulled in to lead Gen AI for industrial. So I just look at across different sectors. It's very interesting. There's finance, there's insurance, there's legal, and there's government and public colleges and everything. Industrial in Gen AI gave us the biggest sort of a pipeline for Gen AI. It's very, I thought that's very interesting anecdote. It's surprising. So again, I echo what Lisa said at lunchtime, right? There's about huge, shortage of manufacturing resources. Like it's people are retiring. Like the knowledge within it's people's head, and they're leaving, right? And then we can't keep people. So the fact that I work in the manufacturing for 20 years, I don't think that's going to be a abnormal thing anymore, right? So just look at your kids and look at your colleagues, how long people last. So what do you do with these knowledges, right? So this is the statistics, right? These are some of the stuff we heard, right? 30 years of people retiring, and how can I ramp up the workers? And so generative AI can truly help, right? You can, 25% of your total work time actually is your language enabled, dealing with documents and things like that. So imagine if every single person in your organization can save at least 2 hours a day. That's kind of the productivity thing that we're thinking about. We launched this about last week, like about 10 days ago. This is a brand new service. It's a Amazon version, the AWS versions of it's called Q, Amazon Q for business. It's our version of chatbot for enterprise customer. What's different about it is, unlike some of the chatbot in the market, it's started to build for consumers that you can just go online and then use your Gmail and sign up. This is enterprise grade, because what we heard is people are concerned about accuracy, security, and limited resources, right? How do I control it so I don't have these concerns? So we build this ground up. It's enterprise, with enterprise in mind. It's only intended for enterprise people. So we want to do all the same that you heard about what a Gen AI chatbot could do, but the number one is we want to make sure it's secure. We want to make sure you trust it. We want to make sure it mirror exact access level, every single data source, that access level you have currently within your enterprise. So you get a relatively easy approval from your IT security people. We know they're the group of no. So, and these are I'm running a little bit out of time, but I would you can if you search Amazon Q, you can see a lot of demos and explanation. So it's basically we have 40 plus connectors. You can pull information from your email, from your SharePoint, from your Slack, from your Google Drive, wherever that we have 40 plus connectors, and you deploy this. You specify where you want your team want the data from, and then so you can pull every information from that, so they can. If you're in HR, if you're in finance, if you're in legal, if you're in engineering design, you all have the data sources that your team can do. If you specify that upfront, and then you can securely, with peace of mind, and then you can just use that as a chatbot to interact with all your documents, right? So things like in the industrial space, these are some. We have lots of service manuals. We have service logs and machine manuals and all that. So we also have demos and just basically supercharge people's productivity. And then so you can ask the questions, and it will give you that. So here are some of the connectors that I mentioned: SharePoint, OneDrive, and GitHub, Gmail, Google Drive, and Jira, Dropbox. A lot of these. We are continuing to add more. I call it, we want Amazon Q Business to be the Swiss Army knife of the enterprise data connector. So you can just put it there, and then we have ease of pulling whatever data you want with mirror, like I said, mirror your security. This is also, it will eliminate the technology eliminated the hallucination, give you the accuracy, and also tell you exactly where the information comes from. So you have that peace of mind. You can double check it. So as you chat with it, you also can have the peace of mind. So that's it. I'm talking very, very fast. And this is how you can get hold of me. I post stuff on there on LinkedIn all the time. We have video, we have demos. We also have workshops.